In this video, I'd like to introduce you to Emacs Org mode. You might want to use Emacs Org mode if you're interested in any of the following things: authoring or publishing documents such as books, articles, and web pages, taking extensive, easy-to-navigate notes, or perhaps you're like me and you're a researcher and you want to create and share reproducible results. As you might guess, I'm using Emacs Org mode right now, so I want to show you how Emacs Org mode can help by way of examples. And in here, we might have a couple of questions. First, what is Emacs and what is Org mode? So Emacs is a text editor. However, Emacs is extensible because it supports a programming language called Lisp. As you can imagine, this means that the sky is the limit for Emacs. Org mode is an extension to Emacs that allows literate programming. Literate programming is a term coined by Linus Torvalds that means we can write documents with text and images and mathematical equations, and we can interweave these documents with executable code blocks. Already I've demonstrated a few things, that you can make bulleted lists. So here's an example of a bulleted list. I've nested a list within a list, and you'll see here that I can collapse a list item and hide its subordinate. Next, let's show you some examples. Here's an inline math equation, and I can preview it with a few keystrokes. Here's a Control-C, Control-X, and a Control-L. And it previews it nicely. Another powerful thing here is I can export this to PDF. So this is how I can publish very nicely formatted documents. Control-C, Control-E, and then L for export to LaTeX, and then O as export to PDF and open. And you can see here my PDF. In fact, it's created a table of contents, and then you can see the actual contents of the PDF itself. And of course, we can format this much more nicely, but you can see my bulleted list and then the subordinate list or the nested list. You can see that I've already put in some sections and subsections, and then here's the markup and my inline math equation. I can also export this to HTML. So Control-C, Control-E, and then H for HTML, and then O for open. And here's the HTML document that it's produced. And we'll do this a couple of times later here also. Let's also include a display equation. Here I'm defining my equation in LaTeX syntax. And then if I preview it, Control-C, Control-X, Control-L, there is a nice preview equation. And let's export this to PDF. And you can see here my inline equation and my display equation down here. Let's try HTML again. Here's my HTML document. Okay, so let's make here a subsection just so we can organize our notes better. And then below this, let's say we want to discuss executable code blocks. And by the way, if I hit Shift-Tab, it collapses everything as much as possible, and then I can easily navigate, and can just continue here in my example subsection. So to create a code block, I type # begin source, and then I specify the Python language, and I'm going to put here results output. And I find it helpful to immediately define the end of the code block. But here, let's just make it print hello world. And if I execute this code block by doing Control-C, Control-C, it asks me if I want to run it, evaluate it. I hit Y for yes, and then you can see the results. Let's just add a little bit more to this. So I'm adding 3 plus 4, storing it in X, and then we print the value. And there it is, X equals 7. Let's put this in its own little section. We'll call this basic code block. I can collapse the code block, collapse the results. And next we'll do a code block that generates graphics. That ought to do, so let's evaluate it and see if it works. Okay, code block complete, no errors, that's good. So I have saved a plot called sign_plot.png. I can preview that in my Word document. So I'll just put here a open bracket and another open bracket and then the path to my preview, and then close the interior open bracket, and then we'll give it a preview text and close that one, and then finally another close bracket, and then I can click on this, and then Emacs Org mode renders the image here. I can click back on my main image and hit escape, 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 and then it goes back, it closes that plot. I can provide a caption here. And then if I export this to PDF, you can see, oh, it shows the sign plot preview. Okay, I'm going to change this. Let's get rid of the text. We think that ought to work. And now it renders the picture. There's the caption, and that's all very nice. So we have code blocks with graphics, previews of graphics. One other thing we'll show you about content is tables. Emacs Org mode supports tables very nicely. I use a bar to separate columns, end it with a bar, and then if I do another bar, so this is a pipe technically, right? And then dash dash, and if I hit tab completion, it manages the width of the columns, and that pipe dash dash gave me a divider. So now I can put in some data, and it manages the column width very nicely. And if I want to add a new column, it's pretty easy too. So I'll just put a 37 here and hit tab, and it just adds it quite naturally, and I can just put here a new title and tab again for managing the width and the formatting. And if I were putting data in here carefully, I could put good data in here and then use formulas, so this data table can actually be a lot like an Excel spreadsheet. So these tables are very powerful. And finally, we'll show you some more markup. Here are some different textual markups I can do. I can also provide hyperlinks. So to do this, I'm going to provide a open bracket, close that first set, the second set, and then the third close bracket, and then there's a hyperlink, and if I click it, I get a web page. So you can start to see how powerful this is, how rich you can make your notes. In fact, let's just export this just to see. And before, okay, there it is. I had to close this and refresh it. And then you can see there's my PDF with the markup. I click my Google Scholar link and it brings up the web page. Let's just take some notes here about how this has helped me as a researcher. The old way for me as a computational researcher would be to have hundreds of files that create hundreds of sets of data. The pain here is I have to rummage through many files if I want to edit a script or visualize data. The power of Emacs Org mode is that one highly structured file can create the data, and it can manage all the post-processing and the visualization. No more hunting, searching, and rummaging. So let me end with how to get started with Emacs. First, you have to get Emacs, and fortunately, Emacs is free. And let me give you a table of recommendations. So you can get Aquamax. This is what I'm using. It's only available for Mac OS, however. There's GNU Emacs, and this is available for Windows, Mac, and Linux. There's also Cymax, which is a customized Emacs with a lot of nice built-in features. I don't use it. I'm not quite sure how to use it well yet. And then let me just copy and paste here. You can do that with a few keystrokes. And then align everything. I'm just going to delete that last line. So you might have observed and noticed that I'm using a lot of keystrokes. And so the next thing after you get Emacs is to get familiar with keystrokes. Probably the most official and accepted term for this is key bindings. The best way to do that is to open up your Emacs, and then you're going to use Control H and then T. This is how we annotate these Emacs bindings. So C is for control, dash H means you hold control and then press H at the same time, and then T. There's another note. I'm going to give you a note here. You'll also see MX, for example, and M is for the meta key. Most keyboards don't have a meta key these days, so when you see M-X, instead of holding the meta key, which you probably don't have, and pressing X, you generally press and release the escape key, and then after releasing, press the X key. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. So let me demonstrate how to fire up the tutorial. New buffer, new frame. By the way, in Emacs parlance, this is a buffer, so you're editing a file, it means you're editing it, that buffer. So here, the keystroke is Control H, and then you can see that I've put in Control H here, and then T. It brings up the Emacs tutorial, and like I said, this gets you familiar with the key bindings. Once you're familiar with the key bindings, you become more comfortable with using Emacs, and then you're in a much better position to learn it. So in future videos, I can help you learn Emacs Org mode more. I myself will do more learning, so I'd love to see any comments you might have about Emacs Org mode. One last thing I want to do for you is leave you with a joke. So I saved an image here. This shows the learning curve for different text editors. So there's Notepad, Pico, and actually this is kind of true. I mean, there's a kernel of truth here. As I go on, I find, okay, I'm learning Emacs, it's hard, and then I learn, and I think I know lots, but then I discover, oh my goodness, there's so much more to learn. Really, with Emacs, the sky is the limit. So I hope this whets your appetite and helps you imagine some of the things you can do with Emacs Org mode. If you want to learn more, I'll give you links to other videos from other people who know a lot more about Org mode than I do. But like I said, I'm going to keep learning, and hopefully I'll have more to teach and share with you about Emacs Org mode in the future. For now, though, I'll just invite you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it, all of that. Thanks, and have a great day.